This happened over 20 years ago, but it feels like it was yesterday. And to this day, I still can't get over what happened to my dad. It all started when he got a call from one of his clients asking for a favor. See, my dad worked for an import company that specialized in classic cars. His boss would often ask him to go pick up classic cars that they had purchased at auctions and bring them back to the lot. Usually, these cars were old, broken down, and not worth very much, but every once in a while they'd find a real gem. And when that happened, it was my dad's job to drive it back. One such car was a 1969 Ford Mustang. It was midnight blue with a white racing stripe down the middle and only 20,000 original miles. The client had won it at an online auction, and they wanted my dad to go pick it up the next morning. The problem was that the car was located about 200 miles away, and my dad had to be back that night for my brother and I's school dance. So he asked if he could go pick up the car after we dropped him off. They agreed, and everything seemed fine. We never saw our dad drive anything fancy. In fact, the only time I ever saw him drive anything other than his pickup truck was when he brought home a red Ferrari that they were trying to fix up. That car was fast, but this was something else. The engine purred like a kitten, and the leather seats smelled amazing. My dad was grinning ear to ear. He let us listen to the engine while he revved it a few times before he handed me and my brother the keys to his pickup. "Have fun at the dance," he said, "and don't wait up for me. I'm going to be late." We watched as he pulled out of the driveway and disappeared into the night. About 2 hours later, the phone rang. I answered it, and it was my dad. "Get out here right now!" he yelled. I could hear the desperation in his voice. "What happened?" I asked. "Just get out here now," he repeated. Then he hung up. I immediately went outside to look for my dad. I couldn't see him anywhere. I was about to call back when my mom came out of the house. "He called," I told her. "He told me to come out here." She looked at me confused. "He didn't call," she said. "Why would he be calling you?" I told her about the car and how he was grinning ear to ear when he left. "He wouldn't take you for a joyride, not in that car," Mom said. "Let's go look for him," I suggested. We got into the pickup and started driving around the neighborhood. But my dad wasn't anywhere. We tried calling him, but it just went straight to voicemail. We finally found him about 30 minutes later, parked in front of our house. But something was wrong. His eyes were wide with terror, and he was covered in blood. The Mustang was in the driveway. I ran to my room and grabbed the first aid kit. My dad was kneeling on the ground beside the car. "What happened?" I asked again. He didn't answer. He just kept staring at the car. I opened the first aid kit and saw that my dad had cuts all over his hands and face. I started tending to his wounds, and he flinched at my touch. That's when I noticed his pupils were dilated and he wasn't really with us. Mom called 911 and I stayed with my dad until the ambulance arrived. As they were loading him onto the stretcher, he finally looked at me and whispered, "Get out of here! Get out of here while you can!" Then he went limp. That was the last thing he ever said to me. They took him away, and that was the last time I ever saw him. To this day, I still don't know what happened to my dad. All I know is that he was driving that car, and whatever happened to him, it was no accident. The police never caught whoever did it either, and the case went cold after a few weeks. If you ask me, that car is cursed.